Hi, this is David Bowie, and here's a video interpretation of a new song that I've written called Let's Dance, one of the many songs that I'll be singing for you on tour later this year.
A rock star going into movies, which many have tried, you are one of the most successful to go make that transition, probably for what you are.
It's just talent.
No, forget the talent. Do you want to go into?
I'm a creep.
Is there going to be more movies in the future?
I don't know. I mean, I've just done Just a Gigolo with David Hemmings.
Marlene Dietrich.
Yeah, Marlene Dietrich. Well, Hemmings directed. Marlene Dietrich
was in it.
Oh, fantastically. And I was in bed with Kim Novak, and I carried a pig, and I die in the end, which is... that's how it starts. And I won't make any decisions about doing any more films, really, as an actor. I don't know. I don't want to be an actor, really.
No?
No.
So can I ask you...
I want to be a rock star.
No,
please, go on, let me.
Okay, Ziggy Stardust. Why is Ziggy Stardust? And why? I mean, like, it had such a big impact on everyone that I know,
I read recently that it was investigative journalism taken to its extreme.
Yeah?
That I wanted to find out what a superstar goes through, and so I had to create one and then make one. Ziggy was... No, they were all characters. Everything I've written up until the last couple of albums were characters, and they were environments, and I took the whole thing through on stage and in interview and in photographs and dress and everything. Every time I changed a character, I would become that character for the duration of that album. That was my premise, really, was to create little novelettes for stage, little vignettes, and then perform them all the way through, right through to interviews, and then move on to another character.
The next one is Heroes. It's, I mean, like it could almost be a pro song or an anti-song.
Heroes was about what is sort of irreverently termed the faceless man, the person on the street who at one time in his life must have his own chance at heroism. Right. Even if it's an affair with somebody, that he can feel that he's a hero.
You used an old Shakespearean quote, that the world is your stage. Have you used the world as your stage, do you think?
No, I think it's just being straightforward theatre with music. It wasn't that innovative, except that it hadn't been used in rock and roll before.
Right.
It had been used in every other theatre form, but not rock and roll. And as rock and roll was on a stage, it seemed that it would be worthwhile trying to combine the two.
Okay, so can we go down to, say, Golden Years? Golden Years was a very interesting song. How come Golden Years? I mean, what possessed you to write that?
Well, that was part of an album, Station to Station.
Right.
And Station to Station dealt with a character called the Thin White Duke.
Right.
Who was a European living in America who wanted to get back to Europe again. So the Golden Years, the whole feeling of nostalgia on that sort of a deja vu thing about the album had to be apparent, and Golden Years sort of summed up his whole nostalgia for Europe.
Right. Fame.
Fame was a bitter little song about management, which became very successful, and I was astounded at the time.
Well, can you explain more about Fame? Because I mean, like, a lot of people read a lot into Fame.
Well, what happened is that John Lennon came to the sessions that I was working on in America. And we had been talking about what it was like to be managed and why. Well, John had already broken free, of course,
right.
And I was breaking free at the time of management. And it sort of was an obvious little thing that we should get hold of. What happened, really, Carlos Alomar, my rhythm guitarist, had a riff that I'd been using for foot stomping, the old rock and roll. Everybody young and old learns how to rock and roll. And we sort of said, let's take that riff and then write something over it.
Right.
It was Carlos's riff. And then John was playing, and he kept on coming up with, I'm.
I'll give you the guitar.
I'm. Like that. And I said, oh yeah, right. This is John Lennon saying aim. I'm. And I'll put an F in front of it, and that was it, really.